Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored this week by Stern & Spiegel LLP, 516-873-1683. Let us solve your problems. And by Tiffany Dry Cleaners, pickup and delivery in West Hempstead and surrounding communities, 718-309-5222. And by our friends at I&D Glock Market, 327 Hempstead Avenue, for all of your shopping needs. Here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Dan. And hey, Norm.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Good to be back after the Thanksgiving break. And Adam, welcome.
What's up, West Hempstead?
Yeah, so...
we still eating leftovers, or...?
No, leftovers is done.
Yeah.
Even if you're watching this, you know, the day of recording, it's done. Throw them out of your refrigerator. So our first story, sad story, we had a 83-year-old, Clyde Felder-Knight of Hempstead, was killed Saturday night in a terrible car accident on Nassau Boulevard and Hempstead Turnpike, crossing the road. A car making a left-hand turn hit her, and a woman had an amazing life, 9 children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. It's a terrible story.
I'm sure she'll be missed.
And do we have any idea the driver stopped, so far as we know?
Yeah, according to the police report, the driver did stay on the scene, and don't know any, you know, what their follow-up is, but usually it takes a little while to do the investigation and come back with their findings.
I'm sure nighttime is a difficult time to cross that road. It's a busy road. People are moving fast, a lot of turns being made. 83-year-old may be moving just too slow, and it's a shame.
Yeah, well, actually, you know, it's an interesting point that it wasn't actually nighttime. It was 3:26. But at that time, the sun is setting, and it could also be in the driver's eyes, especially when you're on the turnpike, which could actually be even worse than nighttime. But, you know, whatever it is, it's a very busy road. You got to give the right of way to pedestrians, and it's as simple as that.
Yep. Paving going on.
A lot of repaving going on in the presidential section. If you live in this area, you know, good luck to you with your cars and your tires and your shock absorbers.
They take some time before they repave.
Yeah, that's one thing that's
First they gut
annoying.
the entire neighborhood, and then everybody's rambling on these roads for a week or two, and then they come back and finish it.
But why is that?
It's annoying when they take a long period of time between the stripping off the old asphalt and replacing it. It's really rough on the tires. Hopefully they can speed it up and do it as quickly as possible.
But as I remember, when they did Hempstead Avenue and they did Nassau Boulevard, those are major through roads. They got to those a lot more quickly. They were right outside my house yesterday, and the grader is now sitting in front of my neighbor's house, and oddly they left like a section of Wilson Street between Oakland and Cherry Valley they didn't do. So I have a feeling they're not entirely done with the scraping, and then who knows, it'll take a week or two before they get the guys in with the asphalt.
So I think the bottom line is the busier the road, the faster the repaving. So you're on the southern state. That night, they're going to rip up the road and they're going to put the asphalt down, you know, right then and there.
That's the formula.
Major roads here, maybe it'll be a day or two. You know, little side streets in the presidential section. Well, what day is Christmas?
Maybe.
Wow.
I will say, even on the southern state, they will take like weeks before they put the lane markings down, which I've noticed, like, people get totally lost without having those.
But that just makes it a little bit more fun. So this, you know, it's like, you know, when you get the guys going at 120 miles an hour, you know, what better way to just not know even what lane that you're in?
I like spreading out.
Wow, it's...
I hope they'll repave Dogwood Avenue, which for a long time now, years, has been like there's a separate 2 different types of pavement there. When you
it has that cement block.
There's a cement on one side, asphalt on the other. When you go back and forth, it's rough on your tires. I don't know why it's like that. It's been that way for years. I hope they can straighten that out.
I'm guessing it has something to do with the fact that it was a county road, you know, emergency road at some point, and then it got widened. And, you know, it actually would be pretty interesting to find out the history of that and, you know, why it ended up with that situation.
Streets in Dogwood.
Maybe something for the Historical Society. Now looks like a good time for us to take a brief commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Tiffany Dry Cleaner is ready to handle all your cleaning, laundering, and dry cleaning needs. We offer free pickup and delivery Sunday to Friday in all communities. Give us a shot.
All right, and welcome back. So, another ongoing story that continues to plague our neighborhood involves signs, and house signs that are in particular supporting Israel seem to be disappearing. There's a video on Facebook of someone who's at night, walking, taking the signs, putting them in the garbage, posters being ripped down. This is a new reality that we're dealing with.
This is happening all over the country. It's not just in West Hempstead, but I guess we're not immune to it. It's kind of a benign protest, but it's a shame. You wouldn't expect it in West Hempstead.
No pun intended. It's a sign of the times where people can't look at something that offends them, whether they disagree with, they feel they need to rip it down. We've seen posters all over the neighborhood ripped down. Instead of people just putting up their own posters expressing their opposite opinion, we've gotten to a bunch of snowflakes in this country where you can't see something you disagree with, you feel you have to destroy it. Yeah. And that's sad direction to go in.
It really is, and unfortunately, I'm not sure that there's any end in sight, and this is just just indicative of what's going on and playing out in many communities around the tri-state area.
I would hope they get nailed. I would hope that somebody gets a good idea of who it is, and we make an example of them.
And the police have been taking these seriously. I mean, they called them in, and they've come in, and again, we've talked, unfortunately, too often about the bias hotline and the rest of it. So, look, if this happens, call the police, alert them, call the bias hotline, and let them know.
Hopefully they will take it as seriously as they did when a certain politician removed a sign and ended up getting handcuffed. So this should be at least...
It is a battle of signs.
Well, it's a potential conflict. You go into somebody else's property and you take their sign, it's a potential conflict. If I saw someone on my property doing that, I would confront them, and then who knows where it goes from there. And that's not good for us.
Not good for anyone. And you know what? Maybe just moving on to a different subject, and one that actually struck me just from the timing of being interesting, which is the tree lighting and the menorah lighting both seem to be taking place on December 10th, with the tree lighting at 2 p.m. and the menorah lighting at 7 p.m.
Yep.
So I guess it'll be a real busy day for Echo and for all of the community on December 10th. So
which is nice. Maybe a little ecumenical here.
It's nice when the holidays overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is exciting, and also I guess most importantly, just referencing the story that we just covered. In general, our community is one that is in harmony, where people from all sides, do live together. They enjoy their neighborhood and their friendship with their neighbors. And the fact that both holidays are taking place at Halls Pond at the same day, I think in itself is something that should be celebrated.
It is. It's great. There's a lot of stuff going on in the neighborhood. The library website has a lot of stuff listed. Saturday the 2nd at 9:30 they have a defensive driving course. On the 5th they have beginning Spanish and storytelling. And on Wednesday the 6th they have stories and songs. So go to the West Hempstead Public Library site. Look at all their programming. There's something going on practically every day. Malvern movies are May, December, Napoleon, Wish, The Holdovers, and Trolls band together.
I can cut in here and say I've heard some very bad things about Napoleon, but being a history nerd that I am, apparently it doesn't quite work.
It's not about baked goods?
Apparently not. No.
And
I'm not seeing it.
Just doing a little bit of research for the show as well, I uncovered a hidden gem, which is that it's the 20th anniversary of the fish concert at the Nassau Coliseum. And for all you fish fans out there, I guess something to be celebrated.
Yeah,
and,
is it possible they finished the first song in their set yet, or is it?
They could be up to their third set. Who knows? Or at least in their current version, they could be doing something called a Vino Malcano, because it seems to be a very timely thing that they actually sing as well. So a little bit of obscure reference there. So I think that's going to do it for this week in West Hempstead. I want to thank you, Norm. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Adam. And join us next week on This Week in West Hempstead.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would like to sponsor us, much like Stern & Spiegel, IND Blot Market, and Tiffany Dry Cleaners, please reach out to us at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.